and all the sweet morning light. It was dancing through your head. Oh, honey, honey, take me there.
Hello, everyone. This is Music Mukbang. I'm Zoe, and this evening we are talking to Hunter Metz. Welcome, Hunter.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being on the podcast. You just finished up opening on tour for Leif Vollebekk. How are you feeling? Are you like fully recovered now? Like after
Yeah, I
that?
think so. I think so. And it was so fun. It was like the perfect way to kind of like round out 2025. And yeah, I feel
Totally.
like I learned a lot from him too in a lot of like unique ways. So yeah.
Yeah, what were some of the things that you learned from him? Because this was a pretty like long tour, right?
Yeah, well, we had done the headline tour, and then we kind of like jumped on Leaf's tour for just like the last 6 dates.
Okay, nice.
Um, but it was incredible. I mean, I met Leaf making the EP, and he actually like came in and played on a couple of my songs, and that's how we met. And we had talked back and forth, and like there were a few times where he had mentioned like, it'd be cool if it works out, if there's a world where you come on tour or we get to tour. And it was cool to see him kind of like hold his word
Yeah,
and yeah, and have me out, and it was great.
that's awesome. Do you have a favorite like tour story or memory from either your headlining tour that you just did or being with Leaf?
That's such a good question. I think like they all have their own unique little place, and their own
Yeah.
unique little memory, whether it be down to the venue or meeting someone after and like sharing a story that really stuck out. So I think it's like a collective of all those things that kind of make it so special.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of one. I don't know. There were certain moments where like fans will make like I had someone make like a paper mache like paper moon because one of my songs
Oh,
is called Paper
yeah.
Moon, and that was pretty beautiful. There's been a lot of like very like sweet things that people show up with, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I feel like so we met in at the Nashville stop, and it
Yeah.
was very cool to see like just, how many fans were coming up to you afterwards and like talking and just I feel like that like one-on-one interaction is so special too because you just get to hear like where everyone comes from and like you said like people are making crafts and things like that. That's
Uh,
always so cool. Like that like they're so tapped into the music and they like relate to it on a personal level,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
beautiful.
You have played some really interesting venues,
Mhm.
notably a cozy outdoor one in Sweden. Do you have a favorite venue that you've played so far?
Oh man, we did like Shuba's twice this year in
Oh, hell yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah,
Um, I think like that might be one of my favorites just because it's so intimate and it
it
like
is.
feels like such an amazing use of space. And
Hmm.
I think the venue like matters so much.
Oh, yeah.
It can like really set the tone for an entire show.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. And like how the fans behave and how they're
yeah.
interacting and stuff. Oh, 100%. Did did you get a chance to try deep dish pizza while you were in Chicago or no?
No, we didn't do pizza.
That's
We'll
okay.
do like I feel like when we're in New York or something like that, we'll
Yeah,
like try and press in. But
make sure.
yeah, no, we didn't do it this time. Maybe I'll drive back just for that.
Just do the
Just for
six
the
hour drive or
pizza.
whatever
Yeah,
just for
yeah.
that. Well, I think Chicago would be very glad to know that you enjoyed Chivas so much. It's a good venue. So awesome. Now, do you have, and this is something that I ask everyone that comes on Music Mukbang, what would be your dream venue? So it can be,
Hmm.
you know, super big or just one that has sentimental value.
I think the Ryman, I don't
Hmm.
know if that's like too cliche.
No,
Um,
that's
but I
awesome.
think for me it's like hometown, just like yeah, it's just such an iconic, beautiful venue, like seated. And I feel like everybody comes there to listen to music, and it's not
Yes.
so much a social event, but like more of
Hmm.
like people spectating. And I think that
Yeah.
kind of atmosphere is so cool. So it has to be the Ryman for me.
Okay. Yes, no, for sure. Have you ever done one of those like backstage tours there?
No, I've
I
only been to a few shows there as well.
That's
So
awesome. Well, hopefully one day and then we
yeah,
can,
fingers crossed.
yes. Exactly. And so you grew up in Franklin, Tennessee. relatively close to Nashville and your parents were both or your parents are both musicians as well, was there a certain kind of like expectation that you would do something with music growing up, or was it just kind of more like whatever you wanted to do?
Yeah, well, they moved here, separately to do music, and they
Okay.
met, like trying to do music,
Yeah.
but it never really like took wind,
Hmm.
you know? And so, like they never played shows. They did, they never had a hit, that kind of thing. It
Sure.
was always just kind of like in that dream state.
Gotcha.
Uh, and so I think growing up, it was like, in a lot of ways, I think it actually like discouraged me because it was all
Mm.
around me, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
or while it was all around me, it definitely wasn't something that I like saw any like fruit from, if you will, right?
I see. Yeah, you
Um,
kind of saw the like more realistic or I
Definitely.
guess like life type vibe
Yes.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that actually led me like straight after high school. I went to like a software school, so
Yeah.
like coding, um, and I did that straight out of high school afterwards, and then like found my way back. Um, but yeah, it like kind of like turned me off, honestly,
Yeah.
for a while.
Well, and clearly it was in your blood because you found your way
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
it. Like
absolutely.
you had to do it, right?
Yeah.
What would you say, you're playing a lot of live shows on a super consistent basis, and then you also were on American Idol. What
Mhm.
would you say has been like the things that you learned most
Mm.
performing live on tour compared to when you were on American Idol? Because obviously, like, those have both live elements to it, but they're two completely different settings.
Yeah, I think in terms of the idol thing, it's um it's one big first impression and it's through the lens of somebody else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so I think, whatever narrative is portrayed isn't necessarily your narrative at all.
True.
And so I
Yes.
think the ability to like, yeah, just control your story and tell it authentically and accurately and
Hmm.
how you want to present it, and just like very detail oriented. Is kind of what you get with the show aspect. It's like the most true version of me, right?
Hmm.
Versus a show which is like at the end of the day kind of tied to ratings and people's
Yeah,
salaries and that kind of thing.
totally.
So it's a bit of a different ball game, but at the same time, it's part of my story, right? And so there are aspects that I'm like appreciative of, but at the same time, it's kind of just like distance that and rewrite it, repackage it, represent it, in the way that you see fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of times people forget that too. Like, although these are like live slash reality TV shows, it's still being edited, it's still being produced. And so,
Yeah,
things get clipped in different ways and may not always be the exact, full picture of everything. So that is very good to keep in mind
yeah.
for sure. Was there anything that you had to kind of like refocus in, or that was a little bit of a learning curve once you started playing live shows on your own?
Yeah, I think the dynamic of a band, what does that look
Right.
like? And that can
Yeah.
be in every different opportunity. Because
Hmm.
sometimes it's like the shows warrant themselves to have a full band, and then sometimes it
Totally.
warrants, just a guitar. And so I think that was a bit of a learning curve in that it's not, the same every time, but it still needs to like hold the same musical integrity and like the vision of the songs and the weight of the songs. And so that was probably the biggest learning curve. And then just finding like your people, like, people who can spend, so much time in a car, and
Yeah.
so much time living out of like a hotel room or, the back of a car, really, or a back of a van. It's like it takes a certain kind of person, um, just very patient people and people who believe in you as well. So that's a bit of a learning curve as well, too.
Absolutely. And I recently did a series of interviews with people who work behind the scenes on music tours, touring with people such as Post Malone.
Mhm.
And I would ask them about challenges of being on the road. So I want to know what your top likes and
Mm.
dislikes are of being on tour.
top likes, I mean, you get to like experience the world
Of
in a way
course.
that
Yeah.
and not many people, you know, get to ever experience the world. I think that. I think there's like so many logistical things that happen behind the scenes, especially at this like level, if you will.
Hmm.
Because there is no tour bus, right? It's a van.
Yeah.
And we're loading everything in and everything out. And there might be, three or four people in that van, and you're responsible for, a stage worth of gear and then personal items because you don't keep anything in the van overnight, right?
Yeah, absolutely not.
And so I think that kind of wears on you, just like kind of taking your life, like up to a friend's house that lives in the middle of
Yeah.
and that kind of gets, it's twice a day, right? In the morning and at night. And I think
Hmm.
I think space for yourself is another thing that's kind of like hard to find.
Yeah.
If you're like naturally more introverted, maybe it's
Hmm.
kind of hard to like find a moment to yourself. But in a way that like kind of grows you. So I don't
Yeah.
know. There's not too much to complain about, honestly. But yeah, it's just like
Yeah, just different little
little things you don't
nuances.
think about. Yeah.
Yeah. And in what ways were you able to kind of go and cultivate your own space, like you were saying?
Hmm. I mean, I remember one point like buying, like a journal, like on the
Oh
whim,
yeah.
because I feel like it'd be like a lie if I was like, I journal all the time. It's like I don't. I wish I did. That's like,
Same.
an
Me
amazing
too.
habit, right?
Yeah.
But it just got to the point where it's like that was kind of one of the only ways to really get alone with my thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's like went out of my way to like walk to a CVS or something and just like find a notebook
Hmm.
uh, and just kind of like write down things to clear your mind, in the midst of like being around other people too. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Very cool. And a lot of, a big component of traveling and being on the road, big topic is food and drinks. Do you
yeah.
have a most memorable place that you got food or a favorite tour snack?
I'm trying to think. Um, we did do like some stuff overseas this year, which is crazy.
Very
Like I
cool.
never thought I'd even see some of the places that, we were able
Yeah.
to go. Anyway, and I think like just experiencing different cultures, like I
Yeah.
don't know if there's one that really sticks out, but just like being exposed to places in like Poland, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is crazy. So I think like just getting to experience so much, but I'm trying to think like staples are like maybe like Chipotle,
Okay.
like trying to keep it somewhat healthy.
Sure.
Um, and then yeah, yeah. What was the second half of the
Oh,
question? Sorry.
favorite tour snacks or like,
Oh my
like what do you
gosh.
like to have in the car with you?
We do like a lot of energy drinks.
Okay,
Like
that
we
was going to be
actually
my next
like we
question. Yeah, are
like
you a Red Bull person then?
yeah,
Or
like
okay,
we'll get a case of them and just like have them in the van. You know what I
nice.
mean? Like that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that's I feel like a
Um,
very economical way to go about it, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Or just like
Costco.
yeah, and we're all pretty easy when it comes to like coffee. Like we
Mm-hmm.
don't so it might be like your gas station, like super shitty
Totally.
coffee, you know.
Yeah.
But that's
Whatever
kind of
gets the job done, right?
yeah, totally.
Totally. I feel like that's good. I feel like you probably save a little time that way if you guys aren't going through and having super intricate Starbucks
Yeah,
orders or
yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly.
Did you have any like culture shock moments being overseas?
Oh man, I think there was like a bit of a language barrier at times,
Yeah.
which was actually like so cool to think that music can kind of transcend that, you
Yes,
know?
right?
And I think that was pretty like jarring, but in like a beautiful way, where it's
Right.
like, oh my gosh, these people, across the world are familiar with these songs or some of these songs or one of these songs. It doesn't matter, right? But
Yeah.
the fact that we got to share conversation too. It's just such like a beautiful thing. Yeah, that was pretty shocking.
Yeah, that is crazy. Well, and I know too, like in a lot of different parts of the world, like the I guess, mannerisms or like etiquette at a live show kind of varies from place to
Yeah.
place as well too, which is like really crazy. Did you have anything like that where fans reacted differently to stuff?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think I feel like when we were overseas or like more in Europe, it's just
Yeah.
like everyone, there's like a general excitement,
Hmm.
that you made the effort to come and like show up for them that far away.
Yeah.
Um, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I found that like they were, much more inclined to like pull out the phone light, you know what I mean? Like very
Totally.
fast or something like that, just little things.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I don't think we had like such amazing shows. I don't think anyone or any one audience in particular was rude or like
Right.
noisy or that kind of thing. It really felt like special at each stop. Yeah.
That's really, really awesome. So you just released earlier this fall a Crater-wide EP. I would love to hear a little bit about the process for that and, who did you work with throughout the process and things like that.
Yeah, well, prior to the project, I was producing everything myself, and
Hmm.
that's kind of how I started, was producing for myself or for other people.
Yeah.
And with this EP, it just like I found myself getting in my head so much about, I guess, the details or like the editing, or
Hmm.
things on the computer, and less, the pure expression of things. And
Right.
you kind of lose sight of good melody, good lyric, you know. Yeah, that's like what makes a song. It's not like the
Totally.
editing necessarily. And so I wanted to bring it to someone else and kind of like get out of my
Yeah.
headspace. I found somebody in Colorado. His name's Andrew Berlin. Um, and yeah, it was like an amazing pairing. I went out there just to meet him.
Hmm.
And it was great. And he's so patient. And yeah, I ended up driving out there with kind of like a car full of gear and sleeping. At the studio, they have like a little guest area. So I slept there for 2 weeks and just kind of like slowly chipped away um, at each of the songs. And yeah, it just felt like such an accurate representation of me at the time. And,
That's great.
and just somebody else to kind of trust, push you along when you need it.
Totally. And you recorded at the Blasting Room out in
Hmm.
Colorado, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you feel like a sense of inspiration? All these, famous albums having been recorded there, did that history give you any inspiration?
Well, it's kind of like funny because my music is so different than,
Exactly.
like that
Yeah.
kind of like almost it's rock music,
Hmm.
and
Did you want to like pull out the Les Paul and just
yeah, yeah,
like
we gave
add
it
some
a
like
shot. No,
yeah, yeah.
but no, I think just being in a new environment, because I've lived my whole life in Nashville. So many records are made here, and
Hmm.
so many talented people are here. It just I just wanted to experience a new place and see what that kind of like brought out of me.
Totally.
And if anything, it's like being closer to, nature, the mountains, and like colder weather and that kind of thing probably inspired me more than a studio. If anything, a studio was kind of intimidating because I had never
Sure.
really like been in, studio.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was beautiful and yes, it worked out.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you brought up, it seems like via your social media, you really do enjoy nature. Does being outside and like being in that space
Mhm.
inspire you to write a lot?
Yeah, I think it's my number one like inspiration in a lot of ways because it's it's like an endless well,
Hmm.
right? And like every day is different, and no thing is ever the same. And
Absolutely.
I think I can take so much, from that versus things that are the same every day. Um,
Absolutely. Is there a song off of A Crater Wide that you're most proud of
mm, I think I'm just proud of the project. I
overall?
really
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Um, yeah.
That's a good answer. And it's so personal to you and like you just described, like it's it was a whole process and, kind of really something super, super personal. So makes sense.
Yeah.
Your song Weatherbane has like obviously this insane virality,
Mhm.
over 47 million streams. When that happens, is that like empowering or is it a little bit terrifying as well?
I think it's I think it's empowering,
Hmm.
and in some ways it's like changed my perspective to really like just continue making songs that you believe in and that you enjoy,
Totally.
and make music or make art for you first.
Hmm.
And I think somehow, that's what relates to people more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Does it change the way that you approach music now or not as much?
I don't think so. I don't think it's worth, like changing the approach to writing a song, hoping that that happens again or, hoping you get a bigger number,
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I think there is a lot of that right now, and I think it's like very tempting.
Yes.
Um, but I don't, yeah, I don't think that's me. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. And
You're right here to pick me up, tracing your steps to it one by one. Mom, are you point? Hey, fellow, left or right, I go your way. Or we could hold on till tomorrow, 'cause the rain will come, but your love won't change. You'll always be my everything. You're the sunset on a long day. Hide away forever in your hallway. Change your colors.
okay, let's get into a little bit more of speed round
Okay,
type
so
stuff. Okay. First of all, I want to know what strings and picks you use when you're playing.
okay, no picks. I don't play with a pick
Okay.
ever. But as far as strings, it's like a light gauge.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
particular
light gauge.
brands you like?
Um, Daddario probably.
Nice. Go
Yeah,
to. Easy.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. Acoustic or electric?
Acoustic, acoustic.
All right. Rock or country?
Country,
Country. All right. Mountains or ocean?
mountain.
Hot chicken or brisket?
Oh man, probably brisket. Honestly,
Oh, I agree.
yeah,
Honestly, like I've barbecue's great.
yeah,
I've done the hot chicken thing. There's not a type of hot chicken that is mild enough for me to tolerate.
yeah.
So then
Okay,
at
fair,
that point, it just becomes
fair.
chicken nuggets, and that seems like it
Yeah,
defeats the point. So,
yeah.
all right, chocolate or gummy candy?
Oh, gummy.
All right.
I mean,
Same, honestly. Driving or flying?
driving.
Okay, very much.
I
More
hate
scenic, right?
flying.
You hate flying.
Yeah, I hate flying.
Okay, and then if you're driving, then I guess would you rather be the passenger or the driver?
I'd rather be the driver.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
Were you driving
yes,
on your own tour?
absolutely,
Oh, hell yeah.
absolutely.
What's the longest distance you drove in one like sitting?
One sitting, I don't know. The longest like stint we did, which we did trade off, was like
Hmm.
42 hours in 4 days
Oh my
for
gosh.
James Bay. So it was like Los Angeles to I think like Philly.
Jeez.
Um, yeah, it was crazy.
That's insane. Well, I feel like once you like know how to like drive long distances, like unbreakable.
Yeah.
Like I did like the drive from Illinois to Nashville by myself and it was like, 5.5, 6 hours. And I was like, oh my God, it's like the longest drive I've ever done in my life. And then like I'm, hearing about like all these artists that are like, going on tour and like they're driving like 10 plus hours and I was like, oh, okay, got it, got it. I'm like
Yeah, yeah.
novice, novice.
The craziest thing we did was probably after the show in uh what's like where Montreal. So
Mm.
after the show in Montreal, we did like 17 hours after the show,
Oh
like
God.
no stop, straight back to
No,
Nashville.
that's
Yeah.
insane. But probably worth it if you were headed to Nashville then, see family
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, anything exciting coming up in 2026? Do you have any goals that you're looking to set for yourself?
I think for me, just like really focusing on, like the notion that like album is king,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like that comes before everything. And whatever that looks like, timeline, I don't like have an answer necessarily. But just like making sure that, the bar is like always being raised. And it's one step closer to everything you have in your head. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Always continuing to grow and push yourself out of your comfort zone. I
Yeah.
love that for sure. And where can everyone follow you so that they can stay tapped into this current EP that you have out now, Crater Wide, and any future music that comes along?
Yeah, just wherever you listen, I'm on it. And then as far as like socials, it's Hunter J Metz.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Hunter,
thank
for
you.
being on the
Thank you.
podcast. I really, really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. This has been Music Mukbang, and yeah, awesome. Thank you so
Oh
much.
yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, y'all. My name's Hunter Next. I'd love to meet some people at the merch. I'll be around. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much.